would say my last relationship definitely taught me, like, when somebody show you who they are,
believe them.
The 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th time, you have to believe them.
I think Lil Baby is bisexual. I was sucking his, and I started going down. And yeah, he didn't stop me. He put his legs back to him.
Jayda Wayda may have just blown the lid off one of the biggest secrets in hip-hop. With just a few words, she sent the internet into chaos, hinting that Lil Baby's so-called sugar daddy isn't just a rumor, but a powerful man fans already know. From the infamous white party photo to private jets, NBA courtside seats, and Hollywood connections, the clues are all there. And now, fans believe Jayda's slip finally confirmed what everyone's been whispering for years. The question is, did she just expose the truth Lil Baby has been trying to hide all along? Looks like Jayda Wayda may have set the internet on fire without even trying. One slip, and suddenly everyone thinks she's confirmed the name behind the rumors, the man people have been hinting at as Lil Baby's real sugar daddy. And the wild part? Nobody's even surprised at who it turned out to be. She didn't spell it out directly on live, but the hints were so clear it's almost impossible to deny. Between her posts, her recent moves, and the whispers coming from people close to her, the puzzle practically solved itself.
I would say my last relationship definitely taught me, like, when somebody show you who they are,
believe them.
The 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th time, you have to believe them. No matter how much, like, time really don't heal.
I don't know.
Time do not heal. That person gonna always be them.
Time only heals if a person is, like, mentally there with it, you know? Like, time don't heal if it's two people on two different...
The internet is in chaos after Jayda Wayda's latest slip, and fans are convinced she just exposed one of the biggest secrets surrounding Lil Baby. Without saying his name directly, she dropped enough hints to connect the dots, and now people are pointing to one of the most powerful men in Baby's circle. It's the same figure tied to that infamous white party photo, the billionaire private jets, the courtside NBA seats, and the elite Hollywood links that always seem to keep Baby's image shining. From her cryptic posts to her recent moves, and even whispers from those closest to her, the clues were simply too obvious to ignore.
Another drunken hug tonight. I don't care what anyone says. You're getting a drunken hug. You too. You too. Drunken hugs are coming tonight.
And this is where the story takes a sharp turn into pure scandal. The online chatter isn't just about this man supposedly funding Lil Baby's lifestyle. It goes deeper. Fans are convinced Jayda walked away after discovering he was allegedly living on the down low. What many once brushed off as just mentorship between him and Baby is now being painted in a completely different light, fueling even more speculation and messy theories across social media.
Everyone never hugging me. You know what I'm saying? I was dapping Kuzman up, and Mike happy to see me. He ran over there, and we started like wrestling, like touching it. And a picture, like Mike, one of my real good friends, we had a party with goddamn 200-300 people. There's nothing weird to go on with all these people in the mix, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna get on the internet and go back and forth and like, yeah, I told him, man, that's a crazy looking picture, you know what I'm saying?
Jayda Wayda may have just set the internet ablaze without even realizing it. With just a few words, she sparked chaos, and fans are now convinced she exposed the man everyone's been whispering about as Lil Baby's real sugar daddy. She never said his name outright, but the clues were impossible to ignore, from her cryptic posts to her recent moves and even the whispers coming from people closest to her. And when fans pieced it all together, the picture pointed to one of the most powerful names in Baby's circle, the same man tied to that infamous white party photo, billionaire private jets, courtside NBA seats, and the Hollywood connections that always keep Baby's name glowing in elite spaces. But this is where things turn downright scandalous. The buzz online isn't just about this man supposedly funding Lil Baby's lifestyle. According to fans, Jayda walked away after learning he was allegedly on the down low. What many once brushed off as mentorship is suddenly being painted in a far more personal light, and the timing, the hints, and Jayda's behavior lately have only fueled the fire. People are convinced she just pulled the cover off the one name Lil Baby has been desperate to keep away from headlines. And before anyone could even fully connect the dots, Jayda herself stepped in, admitting she tried to give Baby another chance, but it simply didn't work out.
What's the most you ever lost gambling at once?
$8 million.
How long?
Like one day, like probably like 40 hours straight. I lost like $8 million.
That's not
9 million.
That's not one.
I made myself stop gambling. I had Mike Rubin write a letter to every casino and ban me from the casino. You know, because I just do shit.
For many fans, that subtle breadcrumb was all the confirmation they needed. proof that Jayda had long known the truth about what was really happening behind the scenes. The moment she dropped it, there wasn't even room for speculation. The name was already living rent-free in people's minds. And instantly, everyone's attention circled back to that photo, the one from Michael Rubin's legendary white party. You know the shot. Lil Baby posed front and center, Rubin right at his side, and another guest standing so close it looked as if they were all moving in sync, almost like a single unit.
I hear that you say that you don't have any tattoos at all?
Nope.
So what's the reason why you made sure in the world of tattoos, you don't have any?
Being younger, like, I don't want no tattoos. I know I'm gonna have something to do when I get older.
Yes, sir.
Put my money in, I don't want to be like a thug. Like, even though, like, I'm almost a thug, I was a thug. I don't want to be no thug. You feel me? I don't want people to look at me like I'm a thug. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what I want. People with tattoos, and to me, you look like a thug.
Yeah.
Only time I can see me getting a tattoo, like, it gotta be real sentimental to me. Like, yeah.
This wasn't just some random party snapshot. It was the body language, the angle, the way they were grinning side by side. Fans screenshot it faster than TMZ drops a headline, and then, out of nowhere, 50 Cent reposted it with a caption basically asking, "What's really going on here?" That's when the internet officially lost its mind. To the people paying close attention, it wasn't just a funny party pic. It was a proof they'd been waiting on. Visual confirmation, in their eyes, that Rubin wasn't just another friend in Baby's corner, but allegedly the one pulling strings in his world, financially and maybe even personally. From that moment, the conversation shifted. The sugar daddy label stuck like glue, and the whispers snowballed into full-blown rumors. Suddenly, every single time Lil Baby was spotted with Rubin, or any other power player, fans dissected the photos frame by frame, like detectives building a case. That one snapshot became the so-called receipt, the centerpiece of a growing theory people couldn't stop feeding into. And let's not forget, Michael Rubin isn't just some random billionaire who photobombed his way into Lil Baby's life. He's deeply plugged in with athletes, record execs, and some of the biggest names in the industry. And if you've been watching closely, Lil Baby has been right there in that mix for years. Baby himself tried to brush it all off, saying the infamous white party moment was nothing but harmless play wrestling. But by then, the narrative had already run wild. Even after Lil Baby tried to clear things up, fans can't help but side-eye the entire friendship, because every time the story surfaces, it only gets wilder. One of the biggest examples? The infamous gambling saga. Baby admitted himself that he blew through nearly $9 million in under 2 days. And when the situation spiraled out of control, guess who came to the rescue? Michael Rubin. According to Baby, Rubin personally called up casinos and had him banned so he couldn't keep throwing money away at the tables. On the surface, it sounds like a loyal friend stepping in to protect him. But to fans already convinced by the down-low whispers, it looked completely different. Like a man protecting his investment, making sure the person he's tied to doesn't spiral too far out of reach. And that's not the only piece fueling speculation. For years, Lil Baby proudly branded himself as the rapper with no tattoos. He even bragged in interviews about how keeping his skin clean allowed him to move through business circles without being stereotyped. It became part of his identity, part of the image he sold. But lately, fans point to changes and contradictions in his behavior that only add more fuel to the fire. And to them, every detail matters when the bigger picture already feels suspicious. The rumors only grew louder when fans noticed Lil Baby's very first tattoos. And it wasn't just the fact that he got inked, but where. The placement on his inner thighs immediately had social media in a frenzy, sparking endless debates and side eyes. Nobody expected that choice, and within minutes, timelines were filled with zoomed-in screenshots and not-so-subtle captions. The moment really hit its peak when Baby performed on stage wearing shorts, a tank top, and a pink belt, moving in a way that gave the crowd a clear glimpse of the new tats. Instantly, fan-recorded clips spread like wildfire, replayed and reposted until they became the centerpiece of an entirely new round of speculation. While some brushed it off as Baby simply showing off his fresh ink and feeling confident, for others it only added more fuel to the already burning narrative. Of course, not everyone was buying the just showing off excuse. For a lot of fans, the inner thigh tattoos tied directly back to those down-low rumors, almost like a soft launch of a different side of Baby. And once that theory caught fire, it became one more reason for people to insist the whispers weren't just smoke. But if the internet was laughing, Baby definitely wasn't. On Lil Yotta's podcast, he admitted the constant jokes were getting to him and even revealed he'd gone as far as pulling the white party security footage to prove the hug with Rubin was nothing more than a harmless moment. The problem? he never actually released the footage. And online, when you claim you've got proof but never show it, people assume it doesn't work in your favor. Instead of putting the chatter to rest, it only gave the rumor mill more fuel to spin. That's when the conversation stopped feeling like coincidence. Because whenever fans start connecting Lil Baby's patterns, one name always shows up: James Harden. And let's be real, their friendship has never been subtle. For years, the two have been inseparable, showing up courtside, jetting across cities, and popping up at major events like a package deal. But the moment that made the internet hit pause came in 2020, when Harden's birthday gift to Baby went viral. This wasn't your average present. Harden rolled up with a Prada duffel stuffed with $100,000 in cash, a Richard Mille watch worth another fortune, and yes, actual honey buns. The video of Baby pulling out stacks of money and snacks in the same bag spread like wildfire, and fans immediately started questioning the dynamic. Some dismissed it as just a wealthy friend flexing, but others filed it away as yet another piece of a much bigger story. One shady comment that went viral even joked, "Lil Baby been giving his honey buns to Harden." And that's the thing about the internet, it doesn't take hard proof to build a narrative. A few flashy moments, some inside jokes, and a juicy theory are all it takes to turn speculation into truth. Harden's gift quickly became one of those so-called receipts, fueling an already messy rumor mill. Lil Baby was back in headlines in 2021, this time across the ocean at Paris Fashion Week. They weren't looking for trouble, but trouble definitely found them. French police stopped their car, claiming they smelled cannabis, and things quickly turned messy in front of the cameras. Harden was frisked and released, but Baby wasn't as lucky. He was fined for possession and photographed being led toward a police van. Those images hit the internet before they even made it back to their hotel. At first, fans brushed it off as bad luck, but in hindsight, many folded it into the pattern. Another headline with Harden, another clip for the growing compilation of receipts. And the internet, being the internet, didn't stop there. Over time, whispers stretched past Harden and pulled in other names, with some even speculating about Juice WLD. No proof, no receipts, just gossip layered onto the same messy narrative. Then came the so-called leaked tape drama. A blurry clip began circulating online, supposedly showing Baby in a compromising situation with another man. The video spread like wildfire, treated as confirmation by those who already believed the down-low rumors. Baby shut it down immediately, blasting the story on social media. "Y'all gotta stop using my name and likeness when y'all get bored. The extremes people go to for clout is sick. Ain't no mystery in my history. This my last time addressing dumb clickbait." But instead of putting the rumors to rest, his response only fueled the conversation further. Instead of shutting things down, Lil Baby's rant only sparked another wave of speculation. And then the chatter got even louder when model Teresa Lana hopped on a podcast and dropped her own little bomb. She didn't spill every detail, but she hinted at a personal encounter with Baby, enough to imply he might not be as straight as people think. That was all the rumor pages needed. Overnight, the blogs lit up again. And through all of it, Jayda has stayed completely silent. No confirmations, no denials, just locked in on her businesses and keeping her co-parenting lane clear. But here's the thing, rumors like these never really disappear. Every time Lil Baby shows up at an event, hits the stage, or gets spotted with the same powerful names, the theory resurfaces like clockwork. Which means maybe the real question isn't whether the story is true or not. Maybe it's what messy detail is about to drop next. Because that's the nature of the industry he's in. Hip-hop doesn't run on just music. It runs on whispers, narratives, and carefully timed leaks that keep fans glued to their screens. For someone like Lil Baby, whose rise has been nothing short of meteoric, every small move gets magnified. A casual link-up becomes a headline, a look exchanged at a party turns into an exclusive, and before long, the internet has already written the next chapter of his story before he even knows it himself. And if history tells us anything, it's that artists who reach his level rarely get to move in silence. Once you're positioned as one of the faces of the culture, speculation becomes part of the package. For some, it's a burden. For others, it's a tool. And maybe the most fascinating part is figuring out which side of that line Lil Baby really stands on. Is he trapped inside the rumor mill, or is he learning how to use it to his advantage? Take the last few years, for example. Every time a new collaboration drops, fans dissect who he's in the studio with and what kind of connections that really means behind the scenes. When he sits courtside at an NBA game, people don't just talk about the matchup on the floor. They zoom in on who's sitting next to him, what conversations are happening in the background, and what future deal could be taking shape. Even something as ordinary as an Instagram story can spark days of debate, breakdown videos, and think pieces across every corner of the internet. But here's where it gets even more interesting. These rumors never travel alone. They evolve. They multiply. They attach themselves to bigger conspiracies that tie in labels, rivalries, even the hidden power structures of the industry. Suddenly, a grainy clip or a passing comment transforms into supposed proof of a major plot. And in that environment, Lil Baby doesn't just exist as an artist. He becomes a symbol, a puzzle piece in a much larger game people are desperate to solve. Now, whether or not he ever confirms or denies these stories almost doesn't matter anymore. Because by the time a rumor reaches his timeline, it's already served its purpose. It's kept his name in circulation. It's fueled the conversation. It's given fans something to argue about, something to anticipate. And in the world of modern celebrity, staying part of the conversation is its own kind of currency. Think about it. How many times has a scandal, a cryptic post, or an awkward public moment done more for an artist's visibility than an actual album rollout? In some ways, Lil Baby's career illustrates that better than most. His music sells, his tours sell out, but what really keeps him in the headlines are the stories orbiting around him. And whether they are true, false, or somewhere in between, they all feed into the same cycle: attention. Of course, this constant microscope also has a downside. Living inside that storm means never really being able to separate fact from fiction. It means having to watch as strangers debate your personal life like it's a TV show, with no regard for what's real and what's not. And it means accepting that every friendship, every handshake, every business move will be twisted into a narrative you may never control. Still, there's another layer here. Lil Baby isn't just any rapper trying to navigate this. He's someone whose influence reaches beyond music, into fashion, sports, business, even politics in certain moments. Which means the stakes of every rumor are higher. They don't just threaten his image, they potentially shift his leverage in deals, his positioning in the culture, and the perception of his power among peers. And that's why fans keep asking, if so much smoke keeps appearing around him, what's the actual fire? Is there really a hidden story waiting to break wide open, or is the mystery itself the story? Because at this point, it almost feels like the rumors are a permanent part of his brand. They keep people watching, speculating, waiting for the next headline. Maybe that's the real genius of it all. In an era where attention is the most valuable commodity, Lil Baby's ability to stay at the center of the conversation, even when he's not dropping music, might be the clearest sign of his dominance. The rumors may frustrate him, they may not always be flattering, but they guarantee that every time his name comes up, people stop scrolling and pay attention. And so, the cycle continues. Another show, another viral clip, another blurry photo, another flood of speculation. Fans will argue, blogs will spin their theories, and the whispers will get louder, until the next detail surfaces, messy or not, that keeps the narrative alive. Because in this world, the truth often matters less than the story. And right now, the story of Lil Baby is one the culture refuses to stop telling.